Well, here we are today in the pharmacy in London with Camilla Wathen, who is the founder and director of this beautiful restaurant, which is run based on vegan principles. And it's got the amazing food source that you source, Camilla, from biodynamic growing, which you have got in your own land also. And I understand that you started this 2016, this beautiful restaurant. Inspired by a journey of meeting Ayurvedic people, and then you also had the quest of nutrition.
Yeah.
And of course, you now have many other new ventures going. I know you've got the cookbook out, the Pharmacy Kitchen cookbook. You have other products out here that are your own product line in terms of totis and aroma candles and all sorts of beautiful things. You got your own food service now, I understand also. And last but not least, which excites me really, is you have new ventures possibly expanding, opening up the possibility for other people to eat in this amazingly enriching way in other countries. Amazing track of history there. The pharmacy. Now, you must have thought something about that, and I'm going to ask you that a bit later, but quickly, before we go into all the details, what made you decide to open a restaurant? What made you decide to be a vegan, unless you've been before, I don't know. What were those crucial points in your life that you would say are meetings with people that made you turn another direction?
Thank you, Hans, for having me, number one.
You're most welcome. Very privileged and honored to have you.
Thank you. It's it's a real honor to be able to chat to you, and also obviously we've met just previously, and I'm a great fan of yours and your knowledge that you bring to the table as well. So it's really a great pleasure to chat to you today. So I mean, I started my journey really through my own personal health failures. I think it wasn't a matter of meeting anyone specifically that enabled me to kind of come up with the ideas. It was really my own personal journey that I suppose got me excited to know more, but also heavy moments of bad health in my early 20s mostly, and then really having a big wake-up call when I was pregnant with my first daughter, who's now 10. So 10 years ago, I suppose I really started my journey within, trying to figure out a lot of answers for myself. And, it was, I suppose, many difficult times that took me to have these ideas and open up the creativity to then go on the journey, which is opening pharmacy.
Did it sort of proceed with other diets that you were interested in because of health? You must have been always a bit health conscious, I suppose.
Yes.
If you don't just suddenly become health conscious.
Absolutely. In fact, I was the opposite. I was health unconscious.
Oh, okay.
So for many, many years, especially my teenage years, I was at a boarding school, very English boarding school, terrible food habits, fast food at weekends. I was an avid Diet Coke drinker, fizzy drinks. I mean, it was really, the total opposite end of the pendulum for me. Was really what brought me to...
Almost had to get bad enough for you to change to a totally different way.
I had to hit rock bottom, as they say.
You went to the revolution.
Basically, yes. And I think without the dark, you don't know the light. And I think without the two kind of, opposites of the pendulum, I had no idea of then what was waiting for me on the other side. It was just a hunger, a thirst, a journey that I had to put myself on to realize then what else was out there.
And this change, I mean, you made this conscious change. Was that influenced by just meeting people that you happened to then stumble on veganism? Did you do a lot of research to go, there's all these diets out there. Which one would be the best for me? And also for other people to share?
Yes, I think, again, looking at, again, the word diet, which I absolutely hate, it was looking at something that was ultimately going to change my life, impact my life on a deeper level. So yes, I've met plenty of people along the way, the journey that, listen, understandably, we are all bio-individualistic, and I think there was no right diet for me that I should then follow. It was then, I suppose, just accumulating the knowledge and accumulating the understandings that I had met from different people and walks of life and countries and cultures, and then really understanding that I had to turn this into something that was right for me. And what was right for me was not eating meat anymore. You know, at the time when I gave up meat, it was very much, you know, I was looking at certain blood types. So my blood type, again, was not one to be able to process meat.
Right. So that was your first decision?
That was my first decision, and that was one of my... Yeah, absolutely. And you know, again, doing things from a deep scientific understanding as well was really important to me. And I think researching different methods and looking at different research as well from across the globe, trying to understand then how I should define it into my life.
Amazing. So you integrated it in your own life, with your children, with your family.
Yeah.
And
how did sustainable for me.
And sustainable. And I understand also from the way you put it across through the pharmacy restaurant now is that you really want to help people to create a lifestyle that's sustainable.
Absolutely.
And not just a fad or a diet or where we miss things. It's actually you're helping people to enrich their life.
Yeah, and I think
levels.
That was one of the main, I suppose, messages and I suppose the understanding that I took on so heavily was the fact that it wasn't about just being vegan. And again, this word, it's a buzzword, vegan. It was about more incorporating whole food, plant-based, I suppose, foods into my diet. But again, because I wasn't eating meat and I was not eating animal products, it just by default makes me vegan.
Right. But you're not harboring on the word.
Exactly.
You're doing a great service in that way.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I truly believe in a whole food, plant-based lifestyle because, and again, the emphasis of pharmacy and the emphasis of my understandings is provenance. Where does your food come from? It's not about just eating vegan food or plant-based food. It's where is it coming from? Is it flown across the globe? Is it flown across the globe? Is it, you know, is it local? Is it all of these understandings that, again, that are buzzwords, sustainability, but actually then honing down on the true importance of farming, soil health.
Yes.
All the wonderful things, exactly.
Yes, naturally.
Exactly, and all the wonderful things that, you know, you and I have in common is really that message that I want to give ultimately to our customers and people that are coming in and out of pharmacy. It's not just about eating a vegan diet. It's very much looking and scratching the surface of where it's actually coming from and how it's grown.
And I love the way you put it across also that you want to really make that connection between the plate and the farm.
Yes.
So pharmacy, has it anything to do with it, or where was the word play coming in?
Absolutely. The word play kind of it really has such a rounded understanding of who we are as a business and who we are as a brand, because it stretches to medicine, it stretches to farming, it stretches to as above, so below. It stretches to food as medicine. All the beliefs that we really feel here as a business, and the core beliefs that we talk about on an hourly basis, really. So the brand really reflects who we are as a business and the integrity behind what we do.
You're absolutely on the ball there. I can just verify that because I've seen your farm that you created a year into the work that you established the restaurant here. Just an amazing achievement, actually, to link the two. And I even hear you're using an electrical vehicle. You only travel once a week. So the food is so fresh in a way, and it's kept fresh probably because of its quality.
Yeah.
How do you find the best way to grow your food? What are you using as a approach to that, to heal the soil, to create the most wholesome food for your cooks and then also for the clientele?
So we've used an approach that you know very well, biodynamic farming. And for us, it was an absolute, there was no other way that we were going to farm. And I think that was something that we, as a team internally knew here, that this holistic way of looking at farming and agriculture and growing food was the only way that we could also provide that knowledge to our customers. And it was It's an educational way of farming, I suppose. As well, for me, I've learned so much along this biodynamic journey, but it's also a way of really connecting human health to farming. And I think once we broach those two subjects, and they are so unbelievably connected, you know, our job in this urban city, trying to connect people to the sense of agricultural culture, is what we're trying to do here, and broach that gap and really try and teach, and also you know, teach predominantly our staff, because they are our flag bearers in a way, and our chefs who are preparing the food that then our customers eat, and you know, we teach them as much as we can the relevance between holistically farmed food and soil health, and then human gut health, human health, and all of the very fine lines between the two. So that's really that was our purpose of deciding to farm biodynamically, so we can make that the crossover and education piece a lot deeper.
Fantastic. It sounds to me as you're recreating culture, the soil culture, a cultured environment for the plants to grow, the internal gut culture of, I mean, we talk about the biological, microbiological cultures that we have to ferment food, for example. You do that a lot here also.
Absolutely.
I hear you have very innovative, I mean, forerunners of recipes. I think everybody needs to find out about that. Where are you in London? How can people find you, and how else can they find out about your amazing recipes that you do?
So we are on the modern day Instagram.
Yes, on the other side also.
On the other side, we have to be one foot in two sides.
Beautiful, make use of it.
Absolutely,
we're here to do that and promote it.
It's the voice of the voice of the people. Instagram.
Good way to reach out. Yes.
Absolutely. We are also we have a website. We've also launched a book. So there are plenty of places that you can access us if you are not then local to London. But if you are, we insist that you come and try the food, and you come and try our homegrown produce, and really get a taste of what we do, because I think, again, people are really surprised when they feel the difference of the produce that we use, you know, and I think it speaks for itself. It speaks volumes. So, yeah.
Fantastic. I highly recommend it. I can't wait to have the time here to dine. And,
well, hopefully you will have.
I'll have a bit of time now, hopefully, before I go. And so, not only in terms of tasting the food, are there possibilities besides the recipes for people to find out about what you're doing? Are you doing any workshops here?
Yes, we will be doing, we have done some workshops previously that have gone down incredibly well. I think, again, there's a real hunger for, in this urban environment, for a taste of nature. Trying to bring, what we try to do is really bring the natural world into cooking and restaurants in itself. So, you know, we try and bring as many educators as we can in. We will be doing some workshops this year with you, hopefully.
And Wendy Cook, who
dear Wendy Cook,
who's written her own cookbook.
Absolutely.
And is a wizard. Well, she's not just a wizard. She's a
hero,
alchemist of cooking.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. She's definitely one of my own personal heroes, and I think I met her recently, and I think it's you know, I think I was just absolutely blown away by her and her knowledge, and really someone that's worked with biodynamics and cooking for so long.
You've got to get her on this side.
Absolutely.
And promote her work and get her out there.
Yeah, and also, you know, get her up in London and you know, and really
closer to home, kind of. She travels all around the world.
Yes. So I'm really looking forward to doing that workshop, and I think that will be very, very, very exciting for us, and also all of our followers.
Fantastic. Now, most people also will probably wonder, what were the benefits that you saw in taking on this lifestyle? You know, your mother, you're an entrepreneur, you are in the trenches, opening new pathways, but at the same time, you must need a lot of energy, you need your own good nutrition.
Yeah.
What would you say are, say, 4 benefits if people would really start looking you up and trying this kind of cooking way of living, the lifestyle? What would they benefit from, and what did you find you most benefited from?
I think I benefited mostly from the, I suppose, connectivity to myself. It's really brought in more of an equilibrium within myself, my moods, my emotions. I think there's such a real connection again between what we eat and our emotional self. I feel a lot more settled. I feel a lot less, I suppose, maybe like a roller coaster. Yes. I mean, life is a roller coaster, but I think it's...
Well, we don't need to enhance that.
We don't need to enhance, exactly. Yeah. It's happening all around us. And I think how we manage it, and I think it's finding that, not to sound cheesy, but it's really to finding that in a sense of peace. And I think that's something that I can physically and emotionally say that that's something that I'm, you know, slowly starting to get my hands on, and that's that inner peace. So I think, you know, again, not harming animals, not contributing to any sort of aggression within killing or meat. And I know that, you know, people are still meat eaters out there.
And there's sacred ways of
there
taking
are sacred,
life.
absolutely. There
and
really,
have always been.
There
will be, hopefully, for those who might need meat, who are that other group of people
absolutely.
Like me.
I agree. And I know that this is something. So I personally feel that because I'm not contributing to that, and I think it's a way that I feel balanced in my own system. And again, processing it, as I spoke to you about the blood type in my own biological mechanism is just more peaceful.
And that's a really important message to know that we're all different.
Absolutely.
And to cherish those benefits that you've got, whatever it takes. But I can reiterate, as knowing about plants and animals, it's very clear now that animals will cause in you emotions that are not yours because you're eating their emotions. Yeah. And if they're rife of fear and everything before dying, you have those. They know now 5 minutes after eating meat, you have those emotions and you have the roller coaster. So well done. And any last suggestion to our listeners before we close, because you got to go?
So I'd say suggestions is move away from shopping in supermarkets.
Yes, all right.
Stop.
Look for the local food.
Look for the local food. Look for your local farmer. You know, read. You know, if you are, and you know, ultimately, listen, I still have to shop at a supermarket when I need to.
Yeah.
But I really consciously try not to, and you know, consciously try not to contribute to any sort of corporate greed or any sort of corporations that I know are ultimately harming human health and environmental health. So
ethical sourcing, really being aware, researching where you get it from, who you're supporting, where you put your penny.
Yeah,
because that is the strongest vote you can give.
Absolutely.
Anything
and I think,
else?
Yeah, it's ultimately the consumer that can make the changes for changes within the world and your environment and also yourself. So I think it's definitely being very conscious about that, and that's how change is created ultimately. So buy locally, shop locally, and really just research knowledge.
And choose your restaurants more consciously.
Absolutely, yeah.
Who have that consciousness and that ethical capacity to source locally.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, do you think this sourcing things locally, what's in season, has benefits that people would benefit from?
Absolutely, it really does. But again, you also have to scratch the surface of them. I mean, there's lots of shops out there, or even sometimes markets out there, farmers markets that are still buying in from somewhere else. So, you know, it's again, getting to know your farmer, getting to know that, getting to know the people within your environment, in your area that are, you know, really, that have that high integrity, that would not, you know, I've met people that are charging organic food when they're actually serving you conventional food, produce.
Also around still.
It's still around. I mean, it's around more than ever because of the buzzwords and because of the, you know, the trend at the moment looking at. So really just, you know, consumers really have to be aware of that.
Okay. Hey, hear that? It's really important, you know, it's discernment.
Yeah.
And you're the really the pinnacle of that quality, because you've done your own research and you have the right attitude, it seems to me. So yes, please. Farmacy in London, in Notting Hill, with Camilla Wathen and the Healing Matrix. Very grateful for your time here. Even was short today. I hope to have you back soon and go into more detail.
Pleasure, anytime.
And we'll be back.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.